The Fujifilm XF 16mm is the indie film / mini doc / content creator and YouTuber / you are videographer working your way up to filmmaker lens. It is the new lens I've added to my collection of lenses I use with the Fujifilm X-H1. Definitely a lens you've already heard about, most likely. And now I'm going to tell you things you may already know about it. Let's get into it. The XF 16-55 f2.8 is the lens you pick up if you heavily rely on autofocus, but you are currently dabbling in pulling focus, because this lens does come with linear focus. Its twin linear focus motors gives this lens a, I guess, stealth-like focusing, so they say. I mean, yeah, I guess it's true. It's stealth-like. You can't hear anything when the lens is focusing, but the lens has been equipped with 3 rings, an aperture ring located at the back of the lens. In the middle of the lens is the zoom ring, and in the front is the tiny focus ring. Speaking of focus ring, I hardly notice any focus breathing. I am not one to care for focus breathing. I think focus breathing gives it a little character as you are racking focus. The expanding and the contracting of the image basically tells you to stop focusing on one thing and now focus on this thing. I didn't notice any focus breathing, but if it does, let me know in the comments below. The lens is sharp. I think Fuji can be a little too sharp, so I lessen the sharpening in camera, throw on a Pro Mist filter in order to get a softer image. The build quality is nice. The focus and zoom rings are grippy, and the aperture ring is clicky. It is a hefty lens, and it is weather sealed. I mean, this is the hashtag run and gun, get her done with 1 zoom and 1 prime lens. It is Fuji's best mid-range zoom lens. It is a crop sensor lens, so it is a 24 to 82.5 equivalent lens, which means this would be your 24 to 70 full frame lens with a little more reach. It could also substitute as the all-around 24 to 105 full frame with not enough reach, but it is blessed with 2.8 because 24 to 105s are typically an f4, but with this lens you get less reach, but you still get that 2.8. Now here's some test footage of the 16-55 paired with the Fujifilm X-H1. On top of all of that, did I mention that the 16-55 is weather sealed? So if you are someone who likes to take their gear out in inclement weather, out in the forest, in the desert, somewhere up in the clouds, then this mid-range zoom lens is the lens you need. Great lens, however, like any other great lens, it has its downsides. Like the lens isn't stabilized, and when paired with Fuji cameras that doesn't have a stabilized sensor, it is like watching one of those found footage movies while jumping on a trampoline. And even with the cameras that do have a stabilizer in it, it's just like watching one of the found footage minus the trampoline. The zoom ring is loose when zooming in and out, but I feel like there is a slight cushioning effect when going from 55 to 16. The focus ring is way too small. Sometimes I get it mixed up with the zoom ring, and because the zoom ring is so loose, I end up somewhere I don't want to be. However, there's workarounds for all of this, and I don't think that the cushioning effect from 55 to 16 really is a problem. It kind of just lets you know where you are when you're zooming in and out, and you can just throw the camera on a gimbal to get rid of the jitters and shakes if that's something that you want, or just get a steady cam or a glide cam. I think they're the same thing. A steady cam or a glide cam in order to, if you need smoother footage when using the 16-55 with any of the Fujifilm cameras for that matter. And with that, you can check out this video right here to learn more about the Fujifilm XF 10-24 f4, which I am using again as my main real estate photography lens for the most of July to determine whether I want to make the Fujifilm X-H1 my workhorse camera for the foreseeable future. But keep a lookout for the video where I talk about how it went, if I'll be keeping the lens, and whether the X-H1 is the camera for me. It may be even a camera for you when it comes to professional work, but for content creation and vlogging, definitely check out the X-H1. It's a great camera. That is it for today. Thanks for joining. Stay awesome.